Hello friends of the Electrified Charging Fun and welcome to Electrified Speicher, your channel all around Škoda's e-mobility. Those who are driving an Enyaq for a longer period might know it. You come to a charger and the charger is dirty, or the connection plug is damaged, the display is not working, the surrounding is not tidy, or it's simply at a location where you do not want to go. But who of us is providing this information to the charging provider or the operator of the charger? Most of us, I bet, will drive to the next charger, not telling anyone because it's not incentivized. The app and Charge is there to change this. And basically, they will give you something in return if you rate a charger. I already had that app on my channel in 2022, and now 2 years later, it's time to revisit the app to look what is new in the app and for whom this app might be really beneficial. And if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Electrified Speicher is based on transparency and honesty, so let's head straight for the disclosure. This video is supported by Encharge, but they do not have any influence on the content nor on the rating of the app, and they cannot see the video before it got published. So I'm completely free what I will tell you. And as always, not everything that glitters is gold, and so we look at all sides of the app. Encharge combined the charging of an electric car with a reward system. They call them challenges. So basically, you do challenges in rating and collecting information on chargers, and you will be rewarded with kilometers, and you can use those kilometers to redeem them for vouchers to get energy for your electric car with certain charging providers. The offers in the app with charging providers may vary from country to country. Within this video you might see them from Switzerland or from the UK, but they can be different in your country. The centerpiece of the app is the map view with all the challenges on it, and you directly see how many kilometers you might earn and what you have to do. Because you cannot simply rate any charger you find out there, you can only rate those which are highlighted on the map by Encharge. And when you go to such a charger, you will earn kilometers and stars. Well, did he just say stars? Yes, indeed. In addition to the kilometers, there's a second currency in the app called stars, and you receive them for various activities. They cannot be converted into kilometers nor into energy, but are mainly used to gamify the app. Gamification transfers principles from video games over to several other areas of life to promote motivation and fun. Because, to be honest, rating a charger is not that much fun. So it makes those monotonous tasks more interesting. You may already be familiar with such mechanics from fitness apps. You receive virtual rewards for your activities, and the typical elements of this can also be found in the Encharge app. There are the stars as a reward, then you've got achievements which show progress, you have a ranking list or a league which is a competition part in the app, and you get profile frames and stickers, so badges and rewards you can show to others. Also, you can use those stars as a currency to get loot boxes. Loot boxes are a virtual surprise package in computer games. You might know if you play such games. This concept is reminiscent of gambling, right? The content is awarded at random, your purchases are made with a currency, and in computer games more often with real money, and there can be a risk of addiction to it. We also see with this that the Encharge app is focused to appeal a younger audience. You can simply ignore the whole thing around the stars and concentrate on collecting kilometers through rating charges. And therefore, let's move to the practical part of this video, which I will carry out with a new function in the app called Drivers Program or Routes. But it shows the general functionality quite well. Let's talk about a new feature in the Encharge app, and that is the Drivers Program with Routes. This is a rather new feature where you get several challenges lined up on a route, and it's more for fun than for you for everyday use. You do not have to do anything with those routes. You can simply ignore them and only do challenges at chargers where you are already charging. But for those who want to do more when it comes to gamification, for faster laddering up in the league and collecting even more cosmetics and stuff like that, this Drivers Program and those routes are really, really great. whether such a route is efficient in collecting kilometers, so getting more energy out of it than putting into driving the challenge or the route, this is up to a test right now. Therefore, I need to measure data because we are at Electrified Speicher. And here every detail counts, so data, data, data. Normally, I use my OBD adapters. This one here, this is the old iCar Pro, and a viewer recommended me the new version. And yes, here it is. This is the new iCar Pro 2S. And basically the advantage of this one should be that you can let it stick to the OBD port even if you put your Enyaq to rest and park it and close it. And afterwards, when the Enyaq wakes up, this adapter should also wake up. I will not test it in this video. If you're interested in that, I'll put it in the next community watch. For this video, it's all about getting data. Let's plug it in. I'm now here at the first challenge of my route. Unfortunately, this charger is only a couple of 100 meters away from my home. And now let's do this challenge as you would do when you hit a charger, and I'll walk you through. So first off, we select the charger on the map and we see that we can now start the challenge here. And the first question is rate the accessibility to the charging station. And since I'm here at the train station in my hometown with a rather busy street behind me, I can rate this as easy. Next up, take a picture of the QR code, which is also rather easy, and rate its condition. Well, the sticker is directly over here and it's in not perfect, but at least good condition. So let's make a quick picture. There you go. And use this photo. Next, take a picture of the charging station itself. Well, that's quite easy. So let's do this. Well, this makes up for a nice photo. Use it. And next. So now take at least 2 pictures of the car park, including the station and the surroundings. Well, yes, let's do this. Now the last thing, would you recommend this charging point to other drivers? And this is easy, you just have to enter a number. I go with an 8 here because over there you have a store to chop some beverages or something to eat. And yes, the train station is directly here, so yes, this is an 8. Next, no, I don't want to give them any else information. Next, and publish. And basically, that's it. That's what you do when you have the full challenge experience. Some challenges are even smaller than this one right here, so sometimes you only need to take a picture or provide other information, but this is the maximum you have to do. I'm now an hour into the route and time to draw a first conclusion. Well, I managed to visit 10 charging stations around the towns here near my hometown, and basically I'm already up to 320 kilometers. What that means, we'll talk about that in the summary. And it's kind of curious how fast you get in your judgment of such a charging station. For me, it's literally just a minute or even less to do the job there. And it's really interesting to see how many charging possibilities I have near my hometown. I never visited them because I can charge at home. And also you learn how many of them are really poorly maintained. Sometimes they are not even there. Some other charging provider has took them over or exchanged them. And there we see the need for such a service and Charge provides, because having the actual and most accurate data on chargers is essential in e-mobility. And we learn another lesson. The MSPs, the mobile service providers, the MSPs, the mobility service providers, don't care at all. They only sell you a charging tariff or a subscription. They don't care about chargers. And what about the CPO, the charge point operators? They forget about maintenance. And that's the condition of the chargers you find there. But in the end, I think it's really essential that you, as an e-mobility driver, knows what you will get when you come to a charging destination. And therefore, I hope that EndCharge makes good use of my data, because basically that's their business model. They send you to the chargers, they give you something for doing the job of judging the chargers, and then they sell your data to the charging point operators or maybe to other providers. Before we head into the data and the details of this EndCharge route challenge, I am always really curious, and I find it funny what details you are looking out when you're watching my videos. For example, you sent me messages asking whether the songs you see in the video are matched on purpose to the content of the video. This is great. And I bet you noticed a lot of more details, like for example the Garmin smartwatch I'm always wearing, but not today. This is because I love data and details. So I log every drive to see how stressful it was and to see how I can optimize driving to be less stressful. But to be honest, you have to wear that Garmin watch. And I love those mechanic automatic watches like this one from my Marriott much more. And if you took a close look to my fingers, you may have noticed already something in some of my videos. No, not this one here. This is my Marriott ring. This one here, this is a smart ring from Ultrahuman, which basically does the same as the Garmin smartwatch, not so much data, but also keeps track of a lot of data. And I find it so cool that this little piece of plastic here, this weighs nothing, can do all of this just putting it on your finger. And therefore I have a stress diagram from today's tour. And you see, it's kind of stimulating to always walk towards those chargers, do all the info, grab all the stuff to send in the app, but there's one big peak you see around 10:15 and where I was really stressed out. And do you know what happened there? Yes, I have damaged the main camera of my iPhone. You see the glass broken there, and that really stressed me for 5 minutes. So this ring even noticed that. That is kind of cool. And if you're interested in something like this, you'll find an affiliate link down in the description and also a big discount code. But I would wait for Black Friday, because I'm pretty sure they discounted the ring even more so that you can benefit a lot. And now let's head into the data and the details of the Encharge Route Challenge. Time to analyze the data gathered doing the Drivers Program Challenge, and let's see if it was worth it. I drove 116 kilometers and I needed, after my breaks and all the recording, around 3 hours and 15 minutes for it. And I had a total spending of 26 kilowatt hours of electricity, which I paid 7 Swiss francs for because I can charge at home. This could be way higher if you need to charge on a public charger. I collected 760 kilometers and I got a bonus of 460 kilometers because it was a route or a driver's programs challenge. So I got a whopping total of 1,220 kilometers. When redeemed, these kilometers will add up to around 96 Swiss francs with several charging providers, but depending on the provider. It is only 88 Swiss francs when I would redeem them at Elli, because Elli is a bit more expensive. And when I look at Elli's charge free, so the tariff with no monthly subscription, I would get 122 kilowatt hours of AC charging, 111 kilowatt hours of Ionity charging, and only 95 kilowatt hours of other DC charging when I use this amount of money in the app. You can easily do the math for other providers or for subscription models. The routes therefore can be worthwhile, but also factor in the time you need, the energy you spend, and the wearing of your car. A comparison with other providers for redeeming your vouchers might be helpful here, because Elli PowerPass is quite expensive. In my community news video, I already asked you about the Encharge app and I got quite some feedback, which was rather good, but mainly on the German channel. So the app seems to be popular, and compared to 2022, now 2 years later, the app significantly improved with its content and the amount of challenges. Personally, I think the payment they give you for the challenge is quite fair. It's easy to do, and if you're already at the charger, that additional minute of rating the charger might be worth it. So the effort therefore is quite low. On the other side, the routes or the drivers program, this is something which is way more for people who love gamification and enjoy such trips, so for enthusiasts. In economic terms, these routes are less interesting, considering especially your time you need to put into and also the energy and the wear of the car. Purchases from partners, so shopping in the app, might be worthwhile if the offer is good, or if you would otherwise pay the same so you can take a couple of kilometers with you. One problem I have with the app are the current charging providers in the app and their prices for energy. This is not a problem of Encharge, but this is a general problem in several markets. And depending on the tariff, you get very little energy for the kilometers collected. It's a different story if you already have a subscription with one of those charging providers. Also, in some countries, the range of partners where you can redeem your kilometers is still somewhat limited. Here, Encharge needs really to step up the game, bringing more and attractive partners to that platform, because the focus on Germany is very noticeable here. Also bear in mind that Encharge sells the data and the content you generate to third-party providers, the content from the chargers you rate. This is an essential part of their business model. In addition, there is income from the partnerships when you do shopping, and certainly they will be used as an advertising platform for some partners to be shown to you. That's why you should not be tempted to the payback offers and the kilometers, because you might pay way too much for items. Also, it is in Encharge's interest that you use the app regularly and that you do a lot of challenges. Therefore, they made the big gamification of the app. And such systems can become addictive, as various reward systems such as the ranking lists and the stars are implemented and even associated with the mechanics of loot boxes. In my opinion, it is still within reasonable limits with the Encharge app, but I'm generally critical of such systems, and I really hope they will not push loot boxes any further than now, because then there might be a tipping point where I am not happy about the gamification. In the end, just try the app, it's free, and then please give me feedback. You will find the link down in the description to download the app. And if you are a new customer, a new user, you can use my code and redeem it in the app to get the first 20 kilometers for free. If you do so, I also get 20 kilometers, but only after you did the first rating of a charger. I'm curious to see what you think of the app, and then we see each other in the next video. And until then, stay full of energy.